Okay, this is the third attempt at talking about, well, it's philosophy, it's cosmology. I had several goes at getting this down on paper, and each time I was like, oh, we've got to do this, do that, and listen to a lot more YouTube input. So, by no means have I got to the end of it, but we've got something that's worth making a short video, because tomorrow I'll be off and away by air. And it'll be like, from getting out of bed to getting back into bed will be over 30 hours, and I probably won't feel like doing anything next week. Okay, so we've got topics. We've got free will, we've got aesthetics, a couple of other points that I can throw in as we go. So what I'm really talking about is what's known as autopoiesis, self-creating, self-maintaining universe. Now, in this time since last being on YouTube with this, I've had a good look at Bergson and Whitehead, who are similar. I find them both useful, but I would speak out against the use of the term God as some kind of necessary input to the argumentum. Although it's useful, but it's not necessary. Okay, so here we go. So there might be a bit of repetition in this, but on free will, how could we know? How could we know whether we have free will or not? Well, the fact that we actually can ask the question might imply that we do. Because it involves making choices that are informed and a considered response. Reactions are reactions. Chemicals have reactions. Whether they do so consciously or not, I don't know. So we have this thing called determinism, and it arises from the what I consider sophistry, that if all circumstances are known, one could predict what comes before and after. Big if. Basically, it's an impossibility, so it's a baseless proposition. You have portents and omens and the like. They perform similar function. Some derive their starting point from tea leaves or an ephemeris. So ask, what quantum effects could be at work here if determinism is correct? For those who profess predestination, remind you that the Synod of Jerusalem in 1672, by the Byzantine Rite Orthodox Church declared that Calvinism was a heresy. Calvin is the big man on predestination. So take it or leave it. After all, from Eden onwards, people have been free to choose. It's there in the Bible, so I don't know why people like Calvin and Islam have to get off on this predestination kick. So, unless one's God is Laplace's demon, there is no need for it apart from no foundation for it apart from faulty logic. It's just a little mind word game that goes around in circles. In short, if there were an omnipotent and omniscient and possibly omnipresent being that exists in the cosmos, why that created it, why would such a being bother making such a mess? Certainly not for amusement. Okay, that's that. Now, aesthetics. This is our reaction and action to and response with the relationships of form, colour, sound, scent, and comfort in general, whether a memory, here and now, or imagined in the future. Thus, the burrow, the web, and the nest are art, as is building a shelter and preparing food. Aesthetics drives life to further complexity and elaboration. Otherwise, reality is generally static or stable. We have a process of not so much repetition, but replication. And each reiteration is either an improvement upon what went before or a decadent version of it. It's always for better or worse. We hope for better, but sometimes one man's better ends up being somebody else's worse. So that's how it is. Okay. Reality does not care for theory, which is a product of observation, whether tested or not. A permaculture principle advises us to observe first, for a long period or periodically. Wait till you actually seen the thing in action before you jump in and think you can improve upon it. Because even the smallest change can have a great effect downstream, as they say. Yes, go forth into the world and see how it works, and that's the first half of verse 29:20 out of the Quran. It's a bit of a free translation, but that's basically what it says. There's always a good bit of stuff to be dug out of these things. Go forth into the world and see how it works, or see how it was made, whichever you like. But apply Occam's razor always. That is, if you come up with a component to your theory that is not observed, then is it necessary? The details of all these things remain to be worked out, including what I'm speaking about here. The main point is to weed out magical thinking and habitual dogmas, the received knowledge, because they are not always reliable. We live in this world, it is what it is, and whosoever does not appreciate it should not expect better than this. That's basically it. Okay. So there are no gods, only placeholders and stopgaps, what we do not yet understand. If we come to such walls and dead ends, perhaps it is that we have misunderstood something. The concept of God is an excuse for not being responsible for ourselves or anything else. So it is for determinism. Reaction and response do all of the work. And I mean all of the work. Everything that is, was, or will be is a product of reaction and response by all participants in the here and now as it moves. And time is a measure of motion of mass and waves through space. There is no vacuum as such. In fact, what is there in the vacuum is quantum flux. If there be an ether, it is this quantum flux where antimatter and matter, antiparticles and particles pop in and out of existence from the void, the nothingness, which is not nothing because it's producing quantum flux. And this I will probably get into at a later date, because that's a matter which I have not sufficient knowledge to speak further on, but it's something worth looking into. There's all these quasi-particles and so forth, which when you look into that, they start thinking. Okay, so we could say that gravity is a function of mass, and perhaps not velocity, impetus, whatever, is a function of light, because light just keeps on traveling on. And nothing comes from nothing. The cosmos is self-sufficient. But as I say, there's a lot more to dig into before we can say more than that. But I think that's where it's going. Most importantly, there's ethics of how we function in society, personally and economically, and that goes into things like contracts and all sorts of things. See, there's what people call morals, from the Latin mores, and these are customary, localized things. They are a function of their time and place, whereas the broader aspect, ethics, is much more universal, and doesn't get bogged down in was he the mother's side of the family or the father's side of the family or the clan with more cattle or whatever that goes on. Yes. So going back to something I was saying in an earlier video, the moving finger knits, having knitted moves on, and not all your tears nor wit can unravel one row of it. So this quantum flux in the void, if it is the foundation of everything that we perceive, we could call that ether. Otherwise is what might, under Bergson or Whitehouse, be referred to as God. But I think the concept of God is something that we have what's the word? Not expectations. No, it's something that we ourselves. This is, as I say, God is. The idea of God is letting us off the hook for being responsible for ourselves, and at the same time, it's a reflection of ourselves. Anyway, got to the end of it. So the only thing I can advise at this moment is hop online and look up quasi-particles and antiparticles and see what you can make of all of that. So that's it. So tomorrow morning I'm out of here, I'm on a plane, it will go from Sydney to Shanghai to Istanbul, where I booked in for 11 nights at a cheaper rate than the motel up in the Blue Mountains. After that I fly to Sarajevo to visit friends and will eventually in September return to Romania. It's a hard life when you're retired. I feel sorry for all these poor people who sort of like go down to the club, maybe do a bit of bowling or golf, go and see some movies or whatever. Even all those poor rich buggers that are, up there on the old Mediterranean coast somewhere, enjoying whatever it is they're enjoying. So this hotel I'm staying at is sort of in that bracket. That's the view I've had for the last 2 months, with changing sky. And there's 3 sets of towering landscape skyscrapers on that horizon. It's Sydney, North Sydney and Chatswood. And they're not very far away. Okay. So that's that. I'll let you just have a look at the sky. It's almost sunset. I've got everything packed except for what's going in the bag at the last moment before I walk out the door. And I had to have a couple of goes at repacking everything, which is normal. And yes, so we have 3 suitcases and a shoulder bag, backpack, small backpack. But for me, this is like, there should be no further reason for me to come back except family. As far as things that you own, well, that's these suitcases. That's it. That's what's left. And not looking forward to the 30-something hours flying, travelling. Well, it's 10 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours, and the time before and the time after, getting to the airport and getting from the airport. So 3 airports. Getting here was 5. Over about the same period of time. Okay, that's enough. Oh, what else? I am now 76, just this week, and it's where are we? Okay. And coming Saturday will be the 163 weeks eating meat and eggs and dairy, occasional bit of seafood. Okay, that's all for now. Goodbye till later.